If you decided to chase a business idea that everyone around you thought was foolish, you would quickly learn that the hardest part was never the market, the competition, or the lack of money. The hardest part was walking back into a room full of people who loved you and hearing them laugh at the one thing you believed in the most. Doubt from strangers is easy to ignore. Doubt from your own family cuts differently. It follows you into your sleep, into every hesitation before you dial a new client's number. But every once in a while, someone refuses to let that laughter become the last word. Our hero, Ryan, was 26 years old and worked a stable, unremarkable job at a logistics warehouse outside Columbus, Ohio, scanning inventory for 8 hours a day. It paid the bills. It bored him to tears. Every night after work, he sat at his kitchen table sketching an idea he could not shake, a small subscription box business delivering homemade snacks and preserves from small family farms directly to city apartments, cutting out the middlemen who left small farmers nearly nothing for their work. Dinner's getting cold. Ryan, come eat before you go back to that little notebook. His mother, Karen, called from the kitchen. One more minute. Mom, I think I finally figured out the pricing model, Ryan said, not looking up from his notes. Pricing model for snacks in a box? Honey, please. You have a good job. Why complicate a simple life? Karen sighed, setting a plate down beside him anyway. The family dinner the following Sunday. Ryan finally worked up the courage to share the idea out loud, hoping for at least one supportive voice. I've been working on something. A subscription box. Local farms send their products, we package them nicely, and customers get a taste of real small-town America every month, Ryan explained. His older brother, Cody, nearly choked on his soda trying not to laugh. A box of snacks? Ryan, we grew up eating this stuff for free from Grandma's kitchen. You want to sell it to people in fancy boxes? It's not just snacks, Cody. It's about supporting small farmers who get nothing selling in bulk to big distributors. There's real demand for authentic demand, Cody interrupted, laughing harder now. Listen to him. He's read one business book and now he's the next Steve Jobs of homemade jam. Cody, let him finish, said their father, Dale, though his own expression carried more concern than encouragement. No, it's fine. I get it. It sounds strange, Ryan said quietly, staring at his plate. It's not that it sounds strange, son. It's that you have a stable job. Benefits, a $401,000 day, a normal life. Why risk that for a fantasy? Dale said, his tone gentle but firm, because I don't want to spend the next 30 years scanning barcodes. Dad, I want to build something, Ryan said, his voice barely above a whisper. The table went quiet until Cody broke the silence again. Build something. Sure, just don't come crying to us when you've blown your savings on cardboard boxes and jars of pickles nobody wants. That night, driving home alone, Ryan replayed the dinner conversation over and over in his mind. He almost convinced himself to drop the idea entirely. Almost. The next morning, Ryan drove out to a small apple orchard an hour outside the city, run by an elderly couple, Linda and Frank, who had been selling their harvest to a wholesale distributor for a fraction of its worth for over 20 years. You want to buy directly from us? No middleman? Frank asked, squinting at Ryan with suspicion. Yes, I'll pay you almost double what you currently get, and I'll feature your farm story on the packaging so customers know exactly where their food comes from, Ryan said, trying to sound more confident than he felt. And how do we know you won't disappear after the first order like every other young guy with a big idea? Linda asked, arms crossed. You don't, but I'm asking for one small trial order. If it doesn't work, you've lost nothing, and I've lost everything I have, Ryan said. Linda and Frank exchanged a long look before Frank finally nodded. One trial. If you disappear, I will personally hunt you down at that warehouse you mentioned. Ryan laughed nervously. Fair enough. Over the following weeks, Ryan spent every evening assembling boxes by hand in his small apartment, driving out to farms on weekends, designing simple packaging late into the night. He barely slept. His savings dwindled rapidly as he purchased materials and covered shipping costs up front. You look terrible, Ryan. Are you eating? Sleeping? Karen asked one evening, finding him surrounded by boxes and labels. I'm fine, Mom. Just building something, Ryan said, forcing a tired smile. Cody says you spent your savings on this. Is that true? Karen asked, worry creasing her forehead. Some of it. I needed to get the first orders out, Ryan admitted. And if it fails? Karen asked quietly. Then at least I tried. Instead of wondering for the rest of my life, Ryan replied. The first month, Ryan sold only 12 boxes, mostly to friends and a few curious strangers he had convinced through a small social media page. It was barely enough to cover costs, let alone pay himself anything. 12 boxes, Ryan. 12, Cody said at the next family dinner, shaking his head. I sell more phone cases in a single afternoon at my shop. It's early. These things take time to build, Ryan said, gripping his fork tightly. Time you don't have if your savings run out, Dale added, not unkindly, but firmly. Son, at what point do you admit this isn't working? When I've tried everything I can think of, Dad. Not before, Ryan said. Ryan refused to give up, even as doubt from his family grew louder each week. He began reaching out to small coffee shops and gift stores around Columbus, offering his boxes as unique gifts, featuring the personal stories of the farmers behind each product. Slowly, word began to spread, not through massive advertising, but through the authenticity of the story itself. A local food blogger, Ashley, stumbled upon Ryan's page and decided to feature one of his boxes in a post about supporting small American family farms. This is beautiful, Ryan. The story behind each product, the direct support to farmers. This is exactly what people are hungry for right now, Ashley said during a short video call. Thank you, Ashley. It means a lot, especially since most people close to me think it's a waste of time, Ryan admitted. Sometimes the people closest to us can't see what strangers see clearly. Let's change that, Ashley said, smiling. Ashley's post, featuring interviews with Linda, Frank, and 2 other small farmers Ryan had partnered with, spread rapidly among a niche but passionate audience. Within a week, Ryan's orders jumped from a trickle to over 300 boxes, forcing him to scramble for materials and reach out to more farms to keep up with demand. Ryan, I've never seen this many orders come through. What happened? Linda asked over the phone, astonished. Someone finally told the story the way it deserved to be told, Ryan said, unable to hide his excitement. At the next family dinner, Ryan arrived carrying one of his boxes, setting it gently on the table. What's this? Cody asked, raising an eyebrow. The little box of snacks nobody wanted, Ryan said, a small smile playing at his lips. We shipped over 300 of them this week alone. The table fell silent. Dale opened the box slowly, examining the neatly packaged apple butter, dried fruit, and small handwritten card describing Linda and Frank's orchard. 300. In 1 week? Dale asked, genuinely surprised and growing. I signed 2 new farm partnerships yesterday, Ryan said. Cody picked up a small jar of honey, turning it over in his hands. I still think it's strange to sell snacks in a fancy box. That's fine, Cody. You don't have to understand it. You just have to watch it work, Ryan said, without bitterness, simply stating a fact. Karen reached across the table and squeezed Ryan's hand. I'm proud of you, honey. I didn't understand it either, but I should have trusted you sooner. You don't have to apologize. Mom, it seemed crazy to me too, some nights, Ryan admitted. 6 months later, Ryan's small subscription box business had grown into a modest but genuinely profitable company, working with over 15 small farms across Ohio and neighboring states, employing 2 part-time helpers, and shipping boxes to customers across the country. At a family gathering celebrating his grandmother's birthday, Cody pulled Ryan aside quietly. I owe you an apology, man. I laughed at your idea because it scared me a little. Watching you take a risk I never had the courage to take myself, Cody admitted. You don't owe me anything. Cody, just don't laugh at the next person's crazy idea before you've seen where it goes, Ryan said, smiling. Trying to build something from nothing meant enduring laughter before applause, doubt before belief, and countless quiet nights wondering if you were simply a fool chasing a fantasy. It meant hearing the people who loved you most question the very thing that gave you purpose, not out of cruelty, but out of fear disguised as concern. But it also meant discovering that belief in your own idea, sustained quietly and stubbornly through every dismissive laugh, could eventually become the very thing that made those same doubters proud. Ryan never became a flashy overnight millionaire, and his story was never about overnight riches at all. It was about proving, slowly and patiently, that being laughed at was never actually proof of being wrong.